Hello everyone, Amy here. I have exciting news today, and that is that my book is it's part of the Yakuza series. It's called Blood Staining Tea. I'm going to read you a little bit about the book, and then the link to buy it is down below if you're interested. It is currently enrolled in KU, so if you have that unlimited subscription, you can just read it for free. It is available in paperback, obviously. If you buy the paperback, you get the ebook for free. Kind of nice. Go buy the paperback, and you get both versions. So let me tell you about it now. So Nana hides from his violent past in the Japanese mafia by opening up a tea house in Japan's culture center, Kyoto. His past comes flooding back when he discovers a gravely injured man with a tattooed chest, a bloody knife, and a Korean business card. Sehun would have died if not for Nana's help. He knows nothing of his savior's connection with the local mafia, but Sehun has his own secret. He commands the Korean mafia, the mortal enemy of Nao's former syndicate. As Nao and Sehun grow closer, so does the strength of the Korean mob. A shocking murder pulls Nao back into a past he'd all but abandoned. War is looming, and Nao must choose between protecting Sehun or avenging the honor of his old mafia family. It is a thriller, but it does have a good romance going on, but it is indeed a thriller. So if that interests you, pick it up. Now I'm going to do kind of like the publishing journey. I'll do a more like fun, inspirational one later, but this is kind of like the nitty-gritty stuff, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. I actually started the first 5 chapters of this in the summer of 2014, and at the time I was trying to query a different story, but I wanted to write this one in between time. I got really inspired by playing Mahjong. I played American Mahjong with a group, and it was really fun and always reminded me of like Asian gangster movies because they always have someone playing Mahjong in the back. While I was waiting for other people to go, I was thinking about that, and then the plot just kind of popped in my head. I did a lot of research. I read a lot of Yakuza books, and oh my, there was so much Yakuza reading. I feel like now I have like this vast knowledge about the Japanese mob and a little bit more knowledge about the Korean mob. So ask me about the Yakuza. I can totally tell you. Like the previous book, I figured I would try to traditionally publish this book, and I knew to put my best foot forward with the agent, so I tried to make sure all my grammar and spelling mistakes were corrected. So I did a copyright through Reddit agency. I was really happy with them. They even like called me and I talked with the copywriter, and she was really good. I really liked her. I learned so much stuff. I think that first really true copyright you get edit, you learn like so much about everything. So that was really inspirational. At that time I decided that I should make this a series pretty much because I put so much time reading about the Yakuza that I should, it seems like a wasted opportunity, so I decided to kind of turn it into a series, and I pitched it at the DFW Writers Con for about 2 years, but it was just kind of more the way it fell for 2 sessions. One session was really early, and I got some interest, but in the end with the agents, most of them decided that it wouldn't sell because, like, one, it's about the Japanese mob, and people are like, we have The Godfather, and I'm like, The Godfather is different. And then the second one is because the main character is gay, and they just didn't think any publisher would want it because it wouldn't sell enough, which at the time I was already starting to kind of lean towards more indie publishing and doing stuff like that, because when you work with an agent and a publishing company, you get about 15% of the book sales, and then your agent gets another 15%. And eventually I decided that I would rather have this writing thing be a full-time career, and you would have to have through an agent like a big huge bestseller, and they only make you really want to have you only write like 1 book a year, and to make it you really have to be constantly there. And with indie publishing, I make 70% or so for every sale, so it almost seemed if I indie published, I would get done much faster. So eventually I just decided that was going to be it. I queried my last agent. So then I started to do so many drafts, and it was probably too much draft. I think what happened is, if I could go back I would change the way I did it in NaNoWriMo, and then I took some more self-publishing classes too, and my teacher kind of mentioned that oolongs and uzis is a bad idea for a title because oolong, people don't know what that is, and then a lot of people who I had read said it sounded like a comedy when it was a thriller, so yeah, so I changed it to the Yakuza path because the Yakuza way was taken, and then I just decided on bloodstained tea. I think one time I was considering blood tea, and I like the stain part. I'm really bad at titles. I don't like my titles too much. So I wrote mini draft. Then I had One Love Editing, who I love to death. I love them so much. They're so good. They did a developmental edit where I was because I was reconnecting things to try to make it more of a series, and I just wanted I figured because this is my first book, well, I've written many books, but this is the first one that I was going to be super serious about, and if I traditionally published it, would have all the steps that I wanted to kind of recreate all these steps along the way. That way I would have a solid book at the end. So I used her for the developmental edit and the copyright edit. I did a developmental edit, and then I went back through and I changed some things, not a lot, just because it was so finalized in my head, and the way a scene and sequel, like first I drafts go through a scene and sequel and then an outline, and the scene and sequel kind of makes it so the chapters really link up and really no way to rearrange them without rearranging a bunch of things. So then the things she mentioned to change I think were okay, because I did make some changes and I did mention some stuff, and then I met a beta reading team, so they read and they were awesome. I love them so much. I love my group of people that help me out, but they read it through and they didn't seem to be lost with the introduction of my main bad guy, Taejin. I sent it back to Red Adapt Editing to do a proof, and then I did another proof because I'm paranoid. And then I kind of let it sit for a while because I wanted to release the second book in a few months compared to that one. And I'm still working on that one. I wish I was much further than I am. So the second half, which is when I'm done with the book and you're worried about the book covers and stuff, I use AI designs, and I think that's how you say it. I'm going to do a full review of her later because I think I'm too close to everything that happened to leave a fair review. I would not use her again personally. I don't think we clicked really well. So I used that for the cover, and I'm really happy with the way the cover turns out. I like the blue, I like the cup, I like the little Matsukara Syndicate Yakuza pen. This is kind of basically what I envisioned when I thought about the book. And for the interior, because I knew I did not want to learn to format because I just did it, and then I was debating about a few different ones, and then on the Smarter Artist Facebook group, someone mentioned Write, Dream, Repeat for formatting, and they did an amazing job. Colleen did the cover page here for it. Then all the pages have these, the chapter headings have these little blood splatters, which I thought were really fun. Did all the like all the bolding and the font choices and the centering of things, and she made it so a lot of the smaller things, like I didn't have to worry about like, oh, I should bold this, and she just automatically did it. So she was awesome. I'm gonna leave all the people I use links down below. I did use my own ISBN, so that basically meant I was my own publishing company. And then there is some nitty-gritty like ISBN things, like under the company name I put my legal name, which is obviously different than my pen name I write in. So I had to, mostly this was all like the Kindle upload was super easy, I think because I did KU, so they didn't really care so much, but then the create space was just a big pain. First because I mismanaged my ISBNs. I put my own legal name as the copyright name, so then when I tried to upload it, it was all like, what's going on? The name's different. So then I had to go email the ISBN company to change my company title, which is now changed, and that was happy. So I figured, yay, auto limit is done. And then I put it up, and I got the proof, and there was just like one mistake on the proof. And then it was up, and it was done, and then it wasn't. CreateSpace had to fit that one they said there was a book already out, and I'm like, yeah, it's written by the same person, me. And because I did the Kindle version upload much sooner than the paperback came out, because the paperback had all this extra stuff that went with it. And then they complained because the legal name on the taxes was different than the pen name I put down. So then they thought I was like not Amy Tasukada, and that I was stealing Amy Tasukada's work and all that stuff. So then I pre-copyrighted the stuff, sent them a certificate, the application for the certificate that basically said I am the same person, this is my pseudonym, please just let me put the book up. So I emailed them, and it took a while, so then I called them because I wanted to see how long it took, and then they said they're going to fix it, and they fixed it within, like, I went to sleep, and I guess the next morning it was fine, so I was happy that it was done. And now my book's out, and everybody can bet it, get into it, and everything like that. Now I'm on to like the marketing phase of the book, which is basically never ending because it's the first of the series. And if you want like this as a career, it's something that you always have to be doing. Traditional publishers, they market a book for like 2 months, and then they're like, okay, done marketing. I'm doing like the book 22, and I'm doing a Goodreads giveaway eventually, and I have a bunch of stuff lined up. And I hope it all works out. If you're still here and you've read the book, or you're thinking about reading the book, I think the best thing you can do for me, besides buying the book obviously, is to leave a review. That is for every author out there, every reader. That is like the #1 thing you can do to thank an author if you enjoy their story at all, is just to leave a review, because right now I have one. And I'm like, people, review, please. And that was my publishing journey. I really think I'm gonna streamline this really easily, because my next book, which I got a publisher to pick up, was much quicker, but they only own the ebook rights and I own the print rights, and I'm making the print version, and that book like took a month to do. So yes, so that was it. If you're interested in this book that I talked about, where a bloody past haunts him, you can go to the link down below and you can buy it. Yes, my book. If you're interested in an autographed copy, you can shoot me an email or just write me a message and we can chat, and I can tell you more information about that. So until next time, bye bye.